Bradley Nelson. I would like to welcome all of you to the Body Code webinar. We have, as we usually do, we've got people from all over the U.S. and Canada, South America, Asia, Europe, South Africa, and everywhere in between. So I'd like to welcome all of you, and let's go ahead and get started here. The Emotion Code, of course, as many of you know, is changing the world one person at a time, and I'm sure that that is the reason why all of you are here. The Emotion Code came about in answer to prayer, really. When I first got into chiropractic and into the healing profession, it was as an answer to prayer, and it was something that I relied on during all the years that I was in practice, and still rely on it. And that's really where the Emotion Code came from, and where the Body Code came from as well. So as much as I would like to take credit for these things, I really can't, because I feel like I'm just the messenger that is bringing these modalities, these methods to the world at a time when we really, really need them. So before we start this seminar, I would like to just have about 15 seconds of silence here so that we can all go into that place, wherever it is we want to go to ask for a little help from the higher power. So we'll do that right now. Okay, let's continue on then. I have some goals for this webinar. I want to explain to you what the Body Code system is and where it came from, what proxy testing is, how we can actually work with people at a distance, which is what we're going to be doing in this webinar. And we'll be doing some examples with some real live people during this webinar. And I also want to teach you a little bit more about the true underlying causes of sickness and disease. So first of all, a little bit about me. I've been in private and virtual practice for 21 years now, and I've been a pioneer in holistic health, and have created this system called the Body Code system. I created it, or I really was involved in bringing it into existence, I guess, bit by bit, as I was continually asking for help from upstairs about these sick people that were coming to see me. During the last 10 years that I was in a brick and mortar practice, which I've been out of now for about 5 years, I was seeing some of the sickest people really that could find me, people who were suffering from things that had been deemed incurable by Western medicine, things like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, and lupus, and even cancer patients as well. And while I never made any claims about curing any of those things, what I did tell people is that I believe that all disease results from one thing. And I'm going to explain to you during this webinar what that one thing is and how that one thing can actually be identified and corrected in a very, very natural way. Okay? So let's keep going here. My favorite quote was from this man, Thomas Edison. He said, "The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease." I've always liked that quote. I think he was a very brilliant guy. Now, we're not quite there yet, but I believe we are moving in that direction. And to really understand the Body Code and the Emotion Code as well, which is a part of the Body Code, you have to understand energy. And energy, of course, is the true nature of our reality. So let's take a look at some Kirlian photographs. Now, Kirlian photography was developed back in 1939 in the Ukraine by a man named Semyon Kirlian. And it's been used for many, many years now to image the energy field of living things. Here we have a leaf, and you can see around the outside of that leaf, you can see the energy that is bursting out of the inside of that leaf. If we take a look at pictures of grains of wheat in this next photo, you can see the energy field of grains of wheat, and we know that they're alive too. They found grains of wheat that had been entombed with the pharaohs, and they took them out and planted them and gave them sunlight and water, and they grow. So it's an amazing thing, thousands of years old. Here we see the energy field of human fingertips. Now, human fingertips You see the energy field there. Normally you do not see that energy field, but we all have that energy field within all of us, you see. Now my favorite Kirlian photo was where scientists took a leaf off of a tree. They cut the leaf in two, they threw the top half away, and they made a Kirlian photo. And what you saw, or the end result of that Kirlian photo, is that you see the actual energy field of the leaf, that hidden energy field. Now, if you have a problem and you go see a medical doctor because you've got some kind of sickness, he is not going to look at that aspect of your makeup. He's going to most likely give you something to suppress your symptoms and so on. Now, there are times when medication is very appropriate, but what you need to do is you need to think about that area, that hidden energy field. That exists in all living things, and it exists inside of you. And if you've got health problems, you need to look at that part of your makeup. Now, I believe that this energy field inside of us is really the spirit or the energy body that is the template that our physical body fills into. That part of us can become imbalanced. Anciently, that was called the prana or the ki or the chi and so on. So how do we find out? How can we get at this information that is in that subconscious mind that can help us to know what really needs to be done? Well, first of all, your body is like a lie detector. Okay, a lie detector or a polygraph will reveal the truth about what you're saying, even though you may be a wonderful liar. The body will tell the true story. Here's really what it's like. Your conscious mind is like the tip of the iceberg. Your conscious mind is about 10% of your intelligence. And the other 90% is the subconscious mind, and that is the part of you that normally you're not really aware of, okay? And it's the part of you that has all the information. Believe me, everything you've ever done, every face you've ever seen in a crowd, everything you've ever eaten or tasted or touched or smelled, everything you have ever done, every moment of your life is logged in that subconscious mind, in that holographic computer system. Remember that that system is archiving everything, remembering everything that you do. But the beautiful thing about it is that that subconscious mind of yours is like a binary computer. In other words, it can answer questions as long as they have a yes or a no answer. That's a beautiful thing because it enables us to tap in to the subconscious. The information about your health is all in there. Everything that needs to be done. There's a list inside of every single person, you see, of the things that are wrong with them and the things that need to be done to get them well or to help them maintain their health and so on. And we can access that information through muscle testing, and we can determine what the subconscious mind already knows. And it's a beautiful thing. Now, to shift gears here for just a minute, I want to paint the picture for you of what's going on with Western medicine as it is today. We talk about health care, but really we should call it sickness care because that's really what it's about. In the Western world, medicine was born on the battlefield in the Civil War and in the world wars that have been fought. And so it was developed around this need for performing heroic measures. In other words, life-saving measures that needed to be done, drastic measures. A soldier gets his leg blown off by a cannonball. You have to perform heroic measures to save that soldier's life. The problem is medicine is still based on that whole approach. And so as a result, we wait until there's a crisis that erupts before we do anything, and we focus on external causes of disease and on dramatic intervention and on symptom suppression. And we've probably all taken some kind of a drug to suppress some kind of a symptom, and drugs can be very appropriate. And medicine does great things, miraculous things. But the problem is we tend to rely on medicine for everything that goes wrong with us. We're conditioned through the media, by the drug companies and the billions of dollars they spend every year to their PR firms and buying media time and so on. We're conditioned to believe that drugs and surgery are the answer. But prescription drugs are now the third leading cause of death in the United States. Now that's not from people who are abusing those prescription drugs. Those are people who are taking those prescription drugs and they're taking them in the dosages that were recommended, and it actually ends their life. That's the third leading cause